the Ant and Dec art scandal. Welcome to Mark and Pete, and this episode we're looking at Ant and Dec reportedly getting mixed up in something which raised questions about authentication and profits. In other words, a real scandal. Yes, this is Mark and Pete, two blokes with half an opinion. Now, here's our first thought.
Popular art that is signed and named can be bought to be privately claimed, until you're conned and then ashamed. It's then that you know that you've been framed. Well, indeed, yes. Ant and Dec, yes, the famous TV presenters have been asked a High Court judge to help them obtain information about deals in which they bought and sold Banksy artworks after claiming an intermediary took secret and unauthorised profits. Now, the TV host said that they paid £550,000 for one set of Banksy works, but the seller apparently only received £300,000. So the query is, Mr. Pete, what did you do with the £250,000?
Yes, good question. Yes, don't worry, I'm keeping it safe for
Okay.
expanding our user base.
Yes. It is extraordinary, isn't it? So I ask you, when you're coming with something like this, Ant and Dec, famous celebrities, of course, and this is sort of what's raised the point, but they are not the only ones that have been scammed in this way. There are many others that we will talk about. But the fact is that substantial sums have gone missing. And it's about the being hoodwinked, isn't it? We all like art. We all get embroiled with names like Banksy and many others. But somewhere down the line, some people see this as an opportunity for fraud.
Yes,
Why is
I
that?
think yes. Well, I think it's a natural tendency, often called avarice, when there's an opportunity to make more, especially money, effectively for nothing. People are going to want to take advantage of it. And the thing is that this is a serious problem. Uh, not because of people being duped and money going missing, but because truth matters, authenticity rather matters,
Oh,
integrity
yeah.
matters. Once it grows, then you don't see it straight away, but you get more and more of it, and the whole of the trust factor, and also the joy of art disappears when you just don't know whether you're being conned or not. The whole, you know, the whole of society could crumble, and your enjoyment of life can dissipate away when there's too much lying and untruthfulness. It just does matter. I mean, it seems like I may be over egging it, but it does matter. I've seen it happen time and time again when people have been enjoying maybe an art or maybe a performance, but when they see a lack of integrity or extreme poor morality of the person involved, then suddenly the joy evaporates from it. So this is very important. Yes, in terms of a financial integrity level, but also just for the good of society as a whole.
Well, indeed. Now, Ant and Dec enlisted the consultant who was not named in the court, but referred to as X. Now, I just a rather unfortunate name, not the former Twitter, oddly, although I think the name X on that front is a bit weird in itself, but called X, and simply to be able to help them buy and sell the artworks. Now, the fact of the matter is, intermediaries, I guess, are very commonplace in artworks. I mean, obviously, there are very well known firms, there are very well known consultants throughout the world, and they are specialists in their field. But what is, I think, really unfortunate here is that it's, to your point, it's the integrity of the industry.
Mhm.
Because we've seen, and we've talked about this before, that although this is a slightly different form of fraud, we've focused on things where we've had, paintings which are basically false. They're basically fake artwork. But in this particular case, we've clearly got an intermediary that is creaming off some money, which should be going to other people, i.e., the Jews are meant to be going somewhere else. What do you do? How do you claw back that money? And I suppose the other thing, and we do need to be clear on this, is that we don't know who the name of the intermediary is because they haven't been named yet. Maybe that will surface. But either way, there's also the other point, which is the devil's in the artwork. the detail. What was the contract? Because we now need to know, well, what was the commission? Because, of course, obviously commissions can vary. There are some standard ones. Sometimes big, art dealers will, possibly even charge up to 20% of a transaction, whereas others might only charge 10, 5%, etc. So I think that maybe this is a little bit of a sensational mix. I mean, this is great for, I guess, bringing Ant and Dec back to the yet again in the media. They're very good, aren't they, at a sort of a high-profile activity. I know that in this particular case, it appears as though they've paid all in all good faith, but somehow this hasn't really worked out very well for them, has it?
No, and I suppose what we can see here is it's when business takes over art, where when as soon as there's a lot of money involved, you're going to get intermediaries as you've just discussed, and when there's a lot of money involved, even more, you're going to get fake intermediaries or intermediaries who are able to, inflate the amounts needed or have them funneled in the wrong direction. I mean, it's almost as though you could end up with an intermediary selling a Banksy painting and going through all the procedure. You don't actually involve the one person who you thought might be involved, and that is the artist. You go an endless chain of intermediaries, and it doesn't. Well, like maybe it has got that far, but
Yes.
this is the issue. With any sort of artistic endeavor, once you get money involved, you end up intermediaries getting in the way. Maybe we should stop paying for art and, just make it ourselves.
Well, indeed. Well, interestingly, the judge has said that they will rule very soon on whether the order is there to disclose the actual intermediary. But at the end
Mm.
of the day, however we look at it, Art and Dec are in the dock.